Hey guys, Sal here and welcome to Cape Rides. So in our previous two episodes we checked out the Toyota Corolla, sort of like a history story on them, and we looked at 4 different generations of the Toyota Corolla, and in this new 2-part series we're looking at the history or generations of the Toyota hatchback. So in this episode over here we will be talking about the Toyota Taz, and in the 4 generations that you could say it comes in, you've got the first generation, which is known as the straight Aster wedge wet look. Then we've got the Conquest as well as the baby Camry, and lastly but not least the Millennium Taz. Before we get started, I would like to say a big thanks and shout out to Zaid aka VAD Productions for letting me use videos of his footage of the Toyota Taz. So the first gen Conquest came out in the mid 80s along the same time with the original wet look Corolla or AE82 shape. So it shared pretty much most of the features that you'd get in the wet look AE82 Corolla. You've got 2 flavors of engines as well, 1300 and your 1600. Now there wasn't anything fancy about them until 1987 when Toyota South Africa launched the first Toyota Conquest RSI twin cam. Now this was powered by the first generation 4AGE engine, 16 valve engine, which pushed out 86 kilowatts. And if you put this together with the fact that the Conquest was only about 950 kilograms, made for quite a nifty little car back in 1987 when it was launched. Now reading up on the review in Car Magazine when the car was launched, it's crazy, it's actually mind-boggling to imagine that back then this car sold brand new for under 22,000 rand. I mean, that's mad. I haven't seen one of them in real life yet, really, or I haven't seen sort of like a pristine example. I mean, given that the car is over close to 30 years old, it's probably a collector's item. There's probably a few of them in Cape Town, probably locked up. Now, the second generation of the Conquest is probably the most popular of the lot. This was launched in 1988, and it sort of coincided with the Corolla AE90 or E92 shape, which is also known more affectionately as the Bubble or Kentucky Rounder. Now, this was again just basically a spin-off of the original Corolla, where you had again a 1300 engine and a 1600, powered by the 2E as well as the 4A FE. And later on as well, in May, around about May, mid 1989, they launched the twin cam RSI Conquest in this shape. And this was powered by a second generation 4AGE engine, which pushed out 87 kilowatts. So it was a bit more, but the engine got a bit stronger as well. And this car new sold back in 1989 for 32,500. I mean, nowadays you can't even get a regular 1300 Taz for that price. I mean, you could get them, but I mean, this car is brand new. It's crazy. You'd probably pay close to 35,000 for a proper Conquest or Taz. Now in 1992 there was a facelift to the Toyota Corolla bubble shape, which sort of lined it up more with its bigger brother, the Camry, and a lot of people call this the baby Camry shape. Now also in 1992 they launched the last, unfortunately the last of the RSI Conquest, and this was known as the 180 RSI Conquest because it didn't actually have the same 1600 engines that the previous 2 had before them. It actually was powered by a 1.8 litre engine, which was used from the 1800 Corolla, was powered by the 7A FE motor, which pushed out close to 100 kilowatts. And this car was somewhat of a collector's item because it was fully spec'd. It had the twin cam leather interior as well as the dashboard. It had electric windows, electric mirrors, pretty much a collector's item. I mean, mostly from what I can remember is that they come in sort of like a shade of bottle green. I'll try to find that color out, as well as like a charcoal color. Now, being close to 15 years old, the Toyota Conquest was beginning to get a bit tired, and what Toyota South Africa did is they sort of reinvented it a bit. They gave it a facelift and they called it no longer the Conquest but now the Taz, and it just came out in 1300 and 1600. And it did have a bit of extra safety features like side impact protection beams. I mean, there was a bit of they had some wacky marketing. I mean, just check this video out of the advert.
Damn, this new Taz has got a wicked new body. That's why I realized I've got to work on my body.
So I go to a gym and this mountain looks at me and says, try spinning.
And I'm thinking, okay, spinning, you know, just spin around, get dizzy. It was torture.
was not happy with me. You know what I'm saying?
So now I realize my Taz is just gonna have to love me for who I am.
Then this mega babe looks me in the eye and says,
Wanna go for a spin?
In your dreams.
That's what I said. I'm telling you, life will be more fun in the new Taz.
Now, this Taz wasn't really a new Taz, as it says it was just a facelift. It was using the same 2E engine from way back in the 80s, as well as the same 4A FE engine from way back in the 80s. So Toyota's sort of motto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, works perfectly well with these cars. And the thing about them is that they've all been endlessly reliable, they've been economical, and they just go on forever. And I mean, they're easy to fix. My first car that I had personally was a Millennium Taz, and I had it for about 5 years, and in that time nothing really went wrong with it until it was in an accident, unfortunately. Now, unfortunately, Toyota discontinued the 4AG engine, so there wasn't any hot hatch out of the Taz version if you'd want something like that. Unfortunately, it didn't come. Toyota just made a sort of slight upgrade to it called the Taz XE, which had aircon and power steering, but other than that, it wasn't really anything else fancy about it. Why we love the Taz though, there's a number of reasons. Like I said, it's reliable, it's economical, it's dependable, and it's basically, there's a lot of things you can do to it. You could put in different engines, you could put twin cam engine in there. It's the perfect starter car. I mean, you could put just about any rim on it, and yeah. So in the next video, we'll be looking at the Yaris, Auris, as well as the Ranix. That's sort of like the next section of Toyota hatchbacks. And just before we go, I'd like to say thanks again to Zaid from VAD Productions for making this video possible. So if you like Toyota content and cinematic content specifically, please be sure to check out his channel, VAD Productions. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to Cape Rides as well. Thanks. Peace out.